Episode 1 of Two Worlds starts with our main lead, Cram, sitting on a rock beside a river, busy drawing before he is interrupted by his friend Duendeo. Duendeo tries to get his attention but is too preoccupied with drawing the scenery that he does not give her attention, so she leaves. Later, Cram arrives home, enjoying a meal with his father, who casually mentions that he cannot make money selling his paintings because rich people seem to enjoy hanging personal portraits compared to abstract art. The following morning, Cram wakes up to find a strange man in their sitting room. At first, he thinks he is an intruder, but his father tells him that he is Uncle Adisak's childhood friend and Uncle Adisak's son, Fufa. Once the misunderstanding is resolved, Cram's father asks him to show Fufa around the village since he will stay with them for a few days. At first, Cram and Fufa do not get along well since Cram remembers him as a rich snob who liked to show off when they were growing up, calling him Richie Rich. One day, Cram wanders into the forest to make a drawing and comes across a man sound asleep leaning on a tree. The sight gets his creative juices running, and he sits across from the sleeping man and starts to draw. Cram finishes the painting hours later when it is almost dark, and the thunder roaring threatens a downpour. He picks up his materials to leave, but the thunder still roaring prompts Cram to wake the man up to warn him about the rain. The man is startled when someone touches him, and he quickly pulls out his knife and holds it to Cram's neck. Cram is scared since the man is Tai, the son of Por, a local gang leader. He is angry that he made a painting of him and stashes it as soon as he gets home. Fufa sees the painting on the floor, and Cram's skills amaze him, therefore, he asks Cram to draw a portrait of him. The following day, Fufa takes Cram to the Moonlight Pond and poses for a nude self-portrait. Cram gets to work as he takes time to appreciate Fufa's body and easily notices that Cram is subtly checking him out. Fufa must stay still for Cram to finish the drawing, but the mosquitoes can't let him. Therefore, he asks Cram to help him apply mosquito repellent. Fufa tells Cram a myth about the Moonlight Pond, which is believed to help the living see the dead when the water turns blue. Cram says that the myth is just a story since he went to the pool every day after his mother's death, crying and hoping that the water would turn blue, but nothing happened. Fufa talks about his mother to show Cram that he understands his pain since he also lost his mother at a young age. However, when Fufa hugs Cram to console him, the moment quickly turns intimate as they stare deep into each other's eyes and start kissing. Later that night, Fufa knocks on Cram's door and asks for a chance to explore whatever is happening between them, to which Cram agrees. Henceforth, Fufa and Cram spend more time together and explore their feelings for each other. One night, Fufa and Cram spend the night at a cabin in the woods as they listen to the rain pouring outside. Fufa implies that he is ready to leave everything to be with Cram, but Cram insists that he must return to work. He says he can accompany Fufa to work if he promises not to leave him. Fufa makes a promise by giving Cram his birthday rocket necklace. They try to get intimate that night, but Cram is so clueless that Fufa decides just to hold him that night. Meanwhile, Duendeo finds out about their relationship, and the following morning, she meets up with Cram at his usual drawing spot at the river. She says she always had feelings for Cram, and even though she knew he would never love her back, she still held out hope. However, she now knows that Cram loves Fufa and decides to pull back, wishing him and Fufa the best in their relationship. The next scene introduces us to Tai again as he and his right-hand man violently attack a man in a gambling house, breaking a glass bottle on his head. Suddenly, more of his men tell him that his father, Por, is looking for him, and it is about Fufa. Meanwhile, Fufa lets Cram accompany him to a gallery opening. Everything is going well until Tai and his men storm the place and hold a knife to Fufa's neck, but someone saves him by suddenly attacking Tai and giving Fufa a chance to escape. Tai sends his men after him, but Cram stops one on the way, trying to stall him, but he pulls a gun. Cram is scared, but Tai stops the man, Jo, from attacking Cram. After the incident, Fufa's parents considered sending him abroad for his safety, but he insisted on staying. He decides to stay and fight Tai to show him and his gang that they are not cowards. Later, Fufa and Cram arrive at his Uncle Wyrich's house, who tells them that he is under attack because they are people who do not want him to take over the company. Cram is confused since Fufa is an only child and wonders who will take over the company if he does not. The conversation leads to a significant discovery about Fufa, and he is engaged to Ron, Uncle Wyrich's stepdaughter. The information catches Cram by surprise, but he still listens when Fufa asks for some time, promising that he will make sure to let everyone know about him and Cram. Their talk is interrupted by Ron's screams inside the house. A masked man stabs Wyrich but runs away when Fufa takes out the gun. Wyrich does not stop bleeding even after they put pressure on the wound, and Ron tells him that Wyrich has hemophilia. Suddenly, Fufa remembers a memory from the past when his mother asks him not to disclose to anyone that he has hemophilia. However, he has no time to ponder the past since Wyrich is bleeding out on the floor. Fufa calls the police and realizes that they might have been framed since the dispatcher mentions that the victim has been stabbed, even though Fufa does not disclose that information. Therefore, Fufa decides to take Wyrich to another hospital, and the nurse manages to save his life. Fufa excuses himself to call his father, Adasak. Wyrich is Fufa's biological father, and Adasak is trying to kill both Fufa and Wyrich. The man on the phone asks Fufa to meet at the warehouse to discuss what is happening. Cram overhears the conversation and wants to go with him since he fears it might be a trap, but Fufa asks him to go home and wait. Fufa adds that Cram will call the police if he does not show up by the following morning. The next morning, Fufa is not yet back. Cram strolls towards the cabin in the forest and sees Fufa lying on the floor like he is sleeping. The episode ends when Cram runs into the cabin excitedly but stops at the door. The episode review. The first episode of Two Worlds opens with a unique and interesting premise. The scenery, especially the river and the forest, is nostalgic. The mystery starts from the get-go, with the viewers wondering why Tai is bent on killing Fufa and who wants him dead. Is his stepfather, Adasak, trying to kill him? Why would he want to kill both the biological father and son? Is it about the company? Why are Por and Tai involved? The episode ends on a cliffhanger, leaving us wondering whether Fufa is dead already. The one thing that was not very captivating about the episode was the dynamic of the relationship between Cram and Fufa. The feelings felt sudden and rushed, and Cram seemed unsure that Fufa was the one when Duendeo mentioned it. Therefore, the intimacy raises doubts here, but it is probably part of the narrative. Let us find out in the upcoming episode.